YouTube. So I was tagged by hollygirl8042, hi, to do the top 10 favorite childhood TV shows. So in no particular order, well, there's a specific order that I wrote down on my paper, but I didn't really think about, oh, I like this one first and this one second. No, these are just randomly thought out and wrote on paper, and now I'm going to tell you. So first on my list is Clarissa Explains It All. That's with Melissa Joan Hart. She was really young when she did that show, and she would sit in her room or in wherever, mostly in her room, and talk about her life and explaining everything. And she had her friend Sam, and he would climb through her window, and her dad Marshall, I think that was his name, and her annoying little brother Ferguson. And I remember at that time I did not want a little brother, but now I have one. And yeah, so that was a good show. I remember watching that, and I wish I could catch it on TV, but I never see it. Anyways, because I know they have some of the 90s shows on Nick, but every time Clarissa comes on, I miss it. So yeah. Anyways, so then Alex Mack, or The Secret World of Alex Mack, I liked that show. She had got some potion or chemical X or something spilled on her, or it had some kind of weird name, but she could morph into like a puddle and then move all around, and she couldn't let anybody know that she had these powers, and her sister and her friend Ray would help her hide the fact that she had these secret powers. So therefore you get this secret world. Next up is the Mickey Mouse Club, of course, because I like Disney, and I wanted to be on the show because I thought I could sing and dance and act, but obviously I couldn't because I was shy. But I liked that show, and of course, even then I was in love with little Justin Timberlake. But yeah, he was a cutie. So yeah, I liked the Mickey Mouse Club. I liked all the skits and the music that they did. Next up is Full House. My favorite daughter was Stephanie, and my favorite adult was Uncle Jesse, of course. Next up is Saved by the Bell. I really liked that show. I remember watching it before school, just like Holly said, she remember watching it before school, and I also remember watching it on Saturday mornings, and I even watched the movies, like when they went to Vegas or something, and then I remember watching the college years too, and I'm glad Kelly was on there too. So yeah, Kelly and Zach were my favorite power couple. They did get yeah. Next up is Friends. Even though that wasn't my younger childhood, it was my childhood. So it was like my high school years, and I really liked that. Of course, I can still watch Friends every day and still laugh at it like it's brand new because it's a classic show. Next up is Lizzie McGuire. Yes, I was a little bit old to be watching Lizzie McGuire, but I'm a kid at heart always, so I like that. And if you want, I could say my excuse for watching Lizzie McGuire was my brother and sister. So yeah. And then I liked Sabrina the Teenage Witch. I love that show. And I liked it when she was in high school more than when she went off to college, but it was a good show. And then in high school, I also watched Charmed, and I remember me and my friend Juana, we would watch it, and then the next day we would talk about that and Friends during lunch, and we would just chit-chat all throughout lunch talking about last night's episode. So that's my top 10, and then of course, because I was the 80s baby, I liked Muppet Babies, Fraggle Rock, Eureka's Castle. Those were good shows. And then I remember watching with my brother and sister, because they were 90s babies, and in the summer they would have the TV, hog the TV all day and all night. So while I was waiting for my shows to come on, they would be watching Rugrats and Doug, and of course I watched it with them because they were good cartoons, so I watched those. And then I remember they would watch Little Bear and Franklin and Gullah Gullah Island. Those are good shows. Those are kind of from my childhood, but more my sister and brother's childhood. But those were good shows. you know, they kept my interest a lot better than I would say for cartoons these days for kids. So, can you imagine what the cartoons are going to be like when I have children? Eesh. So, yeah. That's my top favorite childhood shows and a few extras. I will tag some few people down below, and I look forward to watching your videos. Thank you, Holly, for tagging me, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye!